written music for film and radio, and acted on several networks such as ABC, NBC, Fox, and MTV. Please give a warm welcome to my friend Matt.
Testing 1, 2, 4, 9, 12. Let's see here. That's better. Hello, my name is Marty McFly. I enjoy video games and time traveling. I drive a DeLorean and I like to go 88 miles per hour, baby. Oh wait, wrong speech. Sorry, I'm not Marty. But you never know what the future might bring. My real name is Matthew Ezel, and I want you to wake up, use your imagination. I don't have a red or blue pill for you to choose, nor do I have all the answers, but I do have a story to tell. Let's talk about how to be successful. Number one, forget everything you've been told and think for yourself. That's a biggie. Number two, kick fear in the face. It's kind of hard to do when you get older. Number three, make a goal and see it through. Write your goal down on a piece of paper and stick it on the bathroom mirror so you can be reminded of it every day until it becomes your reality. That's a really big deal, and I learned that in one of my college classes. Now, I realize Lake City, Florida is a small town, but you have options. Several successful people came from small towns in Florida, such as Easton Corbin, Megan Fox, believe it or not, Fred Durst from Limp Bizkit, Carl Hyacinth, he's a great journalist, he does satire, Wesley Snipes, and y'all probably all know Ariana Grande. The list goes on and on. If they can do it, so can you. So there are two questions that I employ all of you to ask yourselves. What do you want to do, and how can you do it? Okay, it's pretty important. So I asked myself, what do I want to do? When I was in high school, I knew I loved math, music, and acting, not necessarily in that order, but I had no idea how to incorporate all three of my passions into a successful career. Some of my mentors told me that if I find a job doing something I like, then I'll never work a day in my life. I'm here to tell you that's not true. You're going to work. You have to be relentless in your pursuit of happiness because there's always someone else that will want what you have and they're willing to do whatever it takes to get it. So you got to up your game. The number one question people ask me is, how did I do it? How did I go back to college after being out of school for several years with a wife and 3 sons? How did I get the opportunity to act on TV shows like Finding Carter, Nashville, Game of Silence, National Enquirer Investigates, and Sleepy Hollow? Well, how was I able to work with songwriters such as Jim Lauderdale? He's written many songs for artists such as George Strait, Blake Shelton, and Vince Gill. The answer is, well, there's not a one-size-fits-all game plan. There's no standard answer for that. Everyone is different, and that's a good thing. This world needs more unique individuals that aren't afraid to take a leap of faith. The short answer is to never quit. So here's what's worked for me, all right? I've had a few bumps in the road that were hard for me to overcome. My brother died when I was 10. My father died when I was 13. After that, I pretty much lost my motivation. I didn't really apply myself at all in high school, which I'm a CHS alumni. Miss Chamberlain was the principal back then. I'm showing my age here, but I found several excuses why I should give up, be depressed, and do whatever. But later on, I realized life would have been so much easier if I would have just applied myself and saw my full potential. But eventually, I crawled out of the hole I was hiding in, partly due to having friends and family that believed in me, and decided to finally be in control of my life. I decided I'm going to do what it takes to make me happy, or I'm going to die trying. So I trusted my gut, or conscience, or whatever you want to call it. I said to myself, I want this, and I'm going to ask everyone, how do I do it until I figure it out? whether it be in person, via telephone calls or emails. I bugged the heck out of several people, and I still do it to this day. Eventually, I earned a bachelor's degree majoring in mechanical engineering, like Crystal said, from the University of Florida in 2014. I took several music and drama classes and participated in several college musicals and plays while earning my degree. It's kind of how I kept my sanity, which I'm assuming you guys can relate to. I was able to do all three things that I'm passionate about, so that's a rarity. It wasn't easy, especially with a beautiful and patient wife and 3 young sons, but I found a way, my way, to do it. You need to find yours, and maybe hold off on the children and the family till after you've done college and everything. It was not the easiest way, that's for sure. So I want you to chase your dreams and do what you're passionate about. After college, I had to make a choice. Focus on my engineering career or try to do both engineering and acting, which several people told me it wasn't possible. But I like a challenge. So I had already grew my social network in college on sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook, which plays a huge part in being successful, no matter what you do, no matter whether it's acting or you're going to business, whatever it is. Networking is huge. And I had an epiphany to pitch my music to television shows and saw that one of my friends on Facebook had been working as a background actor on Fox's TV show Sleepy Hollow. So I contacted my friend and I asked if I could visit the set and hand out some of my music demos and business cards. My friend said the only way he could get me on the set of the Sleepy Hollow show was to be an actor. I said, okay, well, I'll do whatever it takes, how hard is it? He said, well, just show up tomorrow morning. So that was how I landed my first television acting role. I portrayed an 18th century American colonial soldier and had a lot of fun doing it. And it was really weird. It was a whole surreal process. I was born and raised in Lake City, Florida, so it's completely new to me, to see all that. So when I got there, the original RoboCop actor, I know you might have seen the new RoboCop revamp come out in the theaters, it was about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Well, I got to meet the original RoboCop. He's a director now named Peter Weller. He directed the first episode of Sleepy Hollow that I was in, and he was not shy at all about expressing his opinion. He gave clear instructions on what he wanted us actors and actresses to do for each scene, which sometimes took over a dozen takes to get it just right. And that can be kind of hard when you're out in the mountains, running up and down a mountain carrying a heavy rifle. I remember being super nervous and decided to act as crazy as I could to compensate for my nervousness. The director said he wanted me to act as a sergeant in charge of a military unit and to get into a fight with 2 of my soldiers for not having their uniforms on correctly. I'm kind of a shy guy, if you really know me in person, so I was like, you want me to be the guy in charge? He's like, yeah, I want you. Probably because I was the tallest and most handsome. But, well, that was all he said, though. So when he said action, I went nuts. I yanked on one of the actors' shirts, pushed and shoved them around, yelled and pointed in disgust at them. I even flipped the hat off of one of them. I got into character so much that I was practically spitting, yelling, and jumping around like a crazy man. They probably thought I was on drugs. In between that take and the next, one of the other actors tried to offer me a bit of wisdom by telling me that sometimes less is more. I don't know if you've heard that before, but yeah, less is more. I thought, whoa, He told me to tone it down a little and don't overact. This is different than theater. So I was kind of embarrassed and decided that he must know, what he's talking about, because this was my first time on a TV show. So when we did take 2, I did what the other actor said and toned it down by simply waving my hands around and ever so gently and kindly asking the soldiers, hey, could you button up your shirts real quick, Then the director yelled, cut, and all heck broke loose. RoboCop went crazy. He said, what happened? You did it perfect the first time. I thought RoboCop was going to jump out of his chair and smack me down. So I apologized. I'm like, I looked at the other actor that gave me the bad advice, and the actor looked at me and said, well, what do I know? So after that, I acted like a nut for all the scenes on every show I've ever been on since then, and you know what? They keep calling me back. Everyone else, stood around in the background, and they just did what they're told, and they just kind of, they were complacent. And that's a big pet peeve for me, is you don't want to be complacent. You want to be different, stand out. So basically, forget about peer pressure. Be confident and be stubborn. Do your best no matter what it takes. Be flexible. Flexibility is huge. It's like one up there in the top 5 things. The only stipulation with acting is that you have to be willing to go wherever they need you, whenever they need you. A lot of shows I act in are filmed in or near Atlanta, Georgia. So, that's a 5 to 6 hour drive, depending on how you go. And some are filmed in other places. Let's see. One night around 8 o'clock p.m., I got a phone call saying, I got a gig to be in on the Nashville show, filmed in Nashville, Tennessee. They were having the wedding episode. And they said they needed me there first thing in the morning, 7 o'clock a.m. I had just gotten off of work. My daytime job, I'm an engineer. And so I'd been up all day working, and I get this phone call about 8 o'clock at night. They want me to be there first thing in the morning, 7 o'clock a.m. Nashville's about a 9-hour drive. So I hopped in the car, drove all night, got there at 7 o'clock a.m., acted until 9 o'clock p.m., and somehow drove to a rest stop to get some sleep afterwards. I was up for a long time. Some people would call that crazy. I call that opportunity. Failure is inevitable, but don't give up. Keep moving forward. When I audition, I normally submit videos online to casting directors, and there have been several gigs that I didn't get. It's almost like asking someone out. Well, as a teenager, y'all could probably relate. If you ask 10 different people out on a date, my rule when I was in high school was, you'll get a minimum of 3 people that would normally say yes. No matter, what you look like, or if you're emo or gothic or whatever you are, prep, whatever. So that rule of thumb usually works. If you ask 10, at least 3 is going to say yes. Well, that pretty much works the same way when you go to casting directors and you submit your auditions. There will be several people that tell you no, but don't forget about the ones that say yes. There's people out there, the yes people. Just don't forget. All of you have the ability, potential, and talent to do great things. All you need to do is flip the switch and turn the power on. So, in the movie Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, one of my favorite actors, this dude, he's sharp, little green dude named Yoda. He said, do or do not. There is no try. I hear a lot of people say, hey, one of these days I'm going to try to do this, or I'm going to try to do that. Yeah, okay, well, you can find a way, you can find an excuse. Don't try, do it, like Nike said. In closing, I want to say life is 10% what happens to you, good or bad. Bad things happen to good people, that's life. But 90% of life is how you react to it. Your future is not yet written. Make your life a blockbuster. Thank you and good night.